This is a community announcement. This is a community post. As someone who aspires to become a community contributor for Wotb Blitz, in fact, I've applied for the CC program almost 6 years ago. Not 6 years, I should probably reiterate, 6 months ago. Okay, it's been 6 months now almost that I've reapplied to the CC program. I say reapplied because for those of you who don't know, I used to make content 4 years ago. And I got to the point where I was almost at 6,000 subscribers, or I just hit 6,000 subscribers, and I asked the CC manager at the time, who was Darth Antonius, whether I was eligible to become a CC. He basically told me, look, you don't have enough subscribers as it is, there's a bit of a threshold, blah, blah, blah. Fair enough. I've reapplied. Okay, it's been nearly 6 months now since my reapplication. Haven't really heard anything back from Wargaming, so if anyone from Wargaming is watching this, please, it'd be nice to have some kind of response, whether it's to do with press accounts, whether it's to do with the CC program. Just let me know, right, guys? Reach out, please. It's not nice when I'm left in the dark and I have no idea what the hell's going on, and I don't even get a response. If I'm not accepted, just tell me, look, we're not interested. Unfortunately, you haven't been accepted, and I will appreciate it. So yeah. Anyway, that's my banter out of the way. This is a community post. This is to all the devs that may or may not be watching this video, to all the Wargaming staff who may or may not be watching this video. This is everything wrong with the reforged update here in Wotb Blitz. So, I've made plenty of videos, plenty of other YouTubers have made videos about this and other CCs. They've expressed their opinions, they've said what they needed to say. I am on the bench about this. I can't tell you whether or not I am completely opposed to it or whether I disagree with it. I can't really tell you because, honestly, I'm not completely opposed to the concept of sets. I think they're just very much not well executed. They're not well executed. They're not executed that well. And I think Wargaming really needs to reconsider where they are on sort of the bench here. Because, in my honest opinion, sets can be something revolutionary, but they're not. Also, can I just say, with these sets, right, how did Wargaming come up with their idea that these certain tanks deserve to be in sets of their own? What do all these tanks have in common? Why is the T-2020 in the set where there's a Skoda T-56, a Skoda T-45, a TNH 105-1000, right? The TNH TVZ-51, the VZ-55, and the Skoda PJS and the VZ-45-1. Why is it that we have a Soviet tank in the middle of all these other tanks? It doesn't make any sense. It legitimately makes zero sense. Why is it that there's this tank here? Is it because that this tank has side skirt? Oh, sorry, it's got what do you call it? It's got, I guess you could say side skirt, but it's also got spaced armor on the front of the turret. Is this why? Why is this here? This is one of my concerns. Why is it that certain sets have tanks in them that make completely no sense? They have no, relevance to that set at all. Wargaming, let me know why have you decided to put a T-2020, I should probably say. I keep saying T-22. I keep saying T-20. It's a T-2020 here in the Golem Gunners. It doesn't make any sense. Let's pick another random T. The Dread of the Thins, or Dread the Thins. Here we go. T-29. You have a T-54E2, T-32, M103, T-125. This makes sense. These are all the hold-down heavy tanks that the Americans have. It kind of makes sense. I get it. You want to put them all together. Fair enough. What about the Minotauro? I mean, it's quite obvious what this is going to be. It's going to be the Minotauro, correct? Yes, it is. It's going to be all the Italian tank destroyers. Fair enough. Well, I should probably reiterate, all the turreted Italian tank destroyers. What about the Eagle Shield Division? It's the mutant tanks. You've got the Ram. You've got the T-50, the T-34, 1776, the Magnus. All these other tanks, right? Fair enough, they make sense. But then there's, like I said, there was others that don't make any sense. So, look, I'm not opposed entirely with sets. I'm going to give you my what I would recommend to Wargaming to do to fix this. I would say anything that is considered a fantasy tank, and I'll give you a perfect example of this. Let us pick, where can we pick something that is considered a fantasy tank? Okay, let's get rid of that. Let's have a look. Yeah, see, I can't even find these fantasy tanks. I can't find them anywhere. It's ridiculous. This is what I mean when I say the sets are confusing, okay? Not necessarily the mechanics of the sets, but the sets themselves are confusing. The design of the sets are cool, okay? They're cool, but it just doesn't make any sense. Even someone who's played this game for over 10 years, I can't make any sense of this bloody thing. So, Wargaming, this would be my my suggestion to you guys, okay? First and foremost, don't remove sets out of the game. Keep sets, but keep the sets exclusively for, what do you call it? Fantasy tanks. So you got your Battle Pass tanks, you got your Halloween tanks, you got your collaboration tanks, your anime tanks, all the Christmas design tanks, all that, right? That's what I would put. That's how I would structure it. And then the rest of the tech tree tanks and some of the premium tanks that are like obviously historical tanks or not historical but look historical, look like normal tanks, keep them in the tech trees. Put them as tech tree tanks. Put them in the garage. Simple as that. Or alternatively, what you can do is you can make the sets look like tech trees. Design the sets so they look like tech trees. That's what I would do. Don't have them all like this where it's very, very confusing to find out, find your way around here and the search bar doesn't even work. Like Wargaming insisted that you can actually search for what tank you want. I'm going to try and search for what tank I want. Here we go. Let's put E75. Doesn't come up, does it? How about M6? Okay, so M6 will come up. So if I press this one here, the M6 comes up. Okay, cool. So that works. Fair enough. I'll give him props to that. But you have to be specific. Obviously, a lot of the names in the test server do not actually match what the tank is. It's very weird. So you're gonna have to be patient here. It's not finalized. But that would my advice to Wargaming would be either have the normal tech tree as it is and have all the fantasy tanks in sets, so it looks cool, right? And have premium tanks as well if you really want to, and have just the regular tech tree as a regular tech tree, or alternatively design the sets so they look like the tech tree that we currently have. Just modernize the tech tree, make it look cool with these sets, but have them so that they look like a tech tree, and have them all as part of the nations. Don't put them randomly with random tanks that make no sense whatsoever. Group the tanks together as per nations. Stop putting them together as playstyles and whatnot, because there's tanks that make no sense. There are tanks that make no sense, as I showed you. So that's my advice with, of course, the sets. So the sets is one of the biggest things, right? Okay, what about keys? Should keys be in the game? Yes. I think, personally, keys should remain in the game. People can disagree with me. I know Droodles is going to disagree with me. I know there's other content creators that may not agree with my views, but I think keys should remain in the game. However, this is a big however, do not put them behind a paywall. Don't make players pay for them and charge a ridiculous amount of money for gold and whatnot to only get like 50 for a crap ton of gold. Do not put them behind the paywall. Keep them purely free to play. Okay? Keep these keys right here, keep them purely free to play. Do not, under any circumstances, make these pay to progress, despite the fact that you can just get them if you level up your player account, right? I'm all for leveling up your player level, and obviously getting keys and whatnot every time you get a level. That's fine. But streamline it. Make it easy for the people to understand what the hell is going on. You can't just dump a bunch of information on us and say, yep, this is the test server. This is what the update will most likely look like. What do you think? Give us your thoughts. Judging by the extreme backlash from the rest of the community, you can probably tell it wasn't that good, was it? The response yeah, wasn't exactly what was intended. So, yeah, not very good. So, again, keys can remain in the game. They're a good addition. Just do not put them behind a bloody paywall. Don't. I know there's some people that are like, oh, but they're kind of like free XP where you can just use gold to convert it. I'm like, yeah, but literally no one uses gold to get free XP. No one. I don't know who's using gold to get free XP, but I guarantee you it is not a good trade-off. So that would be my recommendation. Keep the keys, but get rid of the paywall. Okay, what about steel? What about steel? So where are the steel? Let's go to resources again. What about this stuff? Steel. Okay. Is this worth keeping in the game? After some consideration, I think this is actually not bad of a deal. I think, personally, having steel is a bit confusing, and it should have been properly sort of introduced, and maybe sort of introduced later on, and not now. But I think this is actually a good currency. Believe it or not, I think it's actually a decent currency. And the reason for that is, it means that you can use steel to, put equipment, or not equipment rather, you can put consumables on your tanks. And then it's a one-time thing. You don't have to constantly spend credits every time you finish from a battle and you use those consumables. Every time you use a consumable, you have to, once you use a consumable once, that's it. You just pay for it once, right? And then when you go to a next battle and you use a consumable again, you're going to pay for it again. That's how it works. Whereas with this, if I press upgrades on the AMX 57 and go to equipment here, it's a one-time thing. I just pay 960 steel and that's it. From my understanding, that's all it is. Let's hope Wargaming keep it that way. They charge us whatever it is, 900 something or 1,000 steel for this, and let's just keep it that way, right? If the inverse is true, where you're getting steel and you're grinding, you're basically earning steel for free, which is fine, but then you have to pay for it every single time you use it, you need to be more clear-cut about it, Wargaming. You can't just tell us, yes, this is the steel, blah, blah, blah. I can't really tell if I'm using the steel or not because I've got 175,000 pieces of steel. I can't see whether I've used steel or not. So I'm going to have to play battles in order to check, okay, it's actually deducting from my account the steel. No wonder we need to buy more. So, is the steel good? I think it's actually a decent currency. I mean, it's much cheaper than having to spend credits. I'll tell you that from now. It is much cheaper than having to spend credits. Maybe let's not pick a T4 tank. Let's pick something like, let's go to T7, which is T10. Okay, let's go upgrades here. Let's see this one. This one should have, okay, so if I go here, this is 3,520 steel to equip adrenaline. Now, if I wanted something that has, let's have a look here. Maybe I shouldn't pick light tanks. Let's go. All right, let's pick the Jagdpanzer E100. It's got tungsten shells, okay? Tungsten is a lot cheaper now than it is in the current Blitz. Tungsten is like 8,000 credits in Blitz, but here it's 3,520 steel. Fair enough. Again, if Wargaming keep it where you basically, you only spend steel once and then that's it, it's permanently equipped on your tank, you don't have to worry about that, that's fine. But if you're spending it every single battle, every time you use the consumable, then it's going to add up and it's going to be actually worse than just having credits. So, I don't know. It's just weird, okay? So that's my third point about the steel. Should it be in the game? Yes and no. It depends on how they implement it and it depends on how it stays, okay? What about all the bugs? So you probably have seen some videos circulating around where the MT25 is got this 90 shell magazine that like you literally empty the entire clip within a few seconds and do like over nearly 10,000 damage with one clip. Okay, I don't have they didn't give me the M25 when they transferred my account for some reason, even though I've got it in my garage. So I couldn't use it, but I've seen the videos and it's absolutely insane. I will make like a collection or like a montage of all the funniest bugs that were in this game, in the test server. That just has to be insane. I don't know what they're testing, but Wargaming, please, for the love of God, fix that. We don't want an MT-25 to literally destroy an entire enemy team of tanks with one clip. That's just insane. It is absolutely insane. I've seen it in training rooms. It's ridiculous. So again, apparently, according to a little birdie, there are over 300 bugs and glitches in the test server. That is absolutely insane. That is crazy. So Wargaming, please fix these bugs. You've got bug testers now, and you've got people who are looking out for glitches and whatnot. That is a huge thing. Fix it. It may be fun because it's a test server and we're all just mucking around and we're seeing our AMX flying in the air as soon as the battle starts on certain maps, or what do you call it, MT-25 emptying a 90 shell clip within a few seconds and doing nearly 10,000 damage. Those bugs are funny. They're funny when they're on a test server, but they get really frustrating after a while. So make sure that all the glitches and the bugs are ironed out. This is supposed to be Unreal Engine 5. It's supposed to be a massive update for Blitz. It's supposed to be something that is basically giving us a new game. So please, please, Wargaming, fix the bugs. Do not release this update in the span of the next 3 to 4 months without all our concerns and all our feedback being taken into consideration and actually, using that feedback as best as we can. Okay, so that would be my other thing that I have an issues with in Blitz, with the Reforged update. Now, another thing would be rendering. Okay, why does my Object 263 look like this? Why does it look like it's like hidden by a shadow or something? It just looks so weird. I don't understand what they were thinking of by doing this. Why is this like this? Why? So, this is supposed to be Unreal Engine. I'm running max settings right now, by the way. Max settings, 120 FPS on my Samsung 23 Plus, and still, it just looks so choppy. It's not smooth, the rendering is not that good on some of the maps, the tanks don't look as good with all the PBR that it's got. In fact, the regular Blitz runs way smoother and looks better graphically, and has got better ping, and has, I guess it's got better FPS than the Unreal Engine version. This is supposed to be optimized. It's supposed to be the better version. It's supposed to have much better graphics, but it doesn't. So that's another thing. The graphics, big issue for me. I feel like it's a downgrade from the regular Blitz. And with these maps, get rid of the lava thing. Why is there lava in some of the maps in the background? Just get rid of it. It doesn't make any sense. Just get rid of it. I understand it's meant to show the capabilities of the Unreal Engine and whatnot, but just get rid of it. It's not worth it. Remove it. Wargaming, please, if you're listening to this, remove the volcanic eruption. It doesn't need to be there. Commanders. Commanders. This is a huge topic. Huge. It's going to be huge. It's a huge topic of concern. Do we keep commanders or do we get rid of them? That is the ultimate question. Do we keep commanders or do we get rid of them? Well, my answer to that question is simple. Keep them. Oh, this is bad. Oh my God. People are going to say, what is this guy on about? Why would we keep commanders? Keep them. Wargaming are not going to remove the commanders. They've already worked on them as much as they did. They are not going to remove commanders. How can we make them better? Well, first of all, for God's sake, give them better design. Give them better character design. Why is it that these characters look like something out of Overwatch, right? Not necessarily Fortnite, not really Fortnite characters, more like Overwatch characters, almost. Overwatch or just some fantasy game or battle royale game. That's what it looks like, right? Why? It's not Wargaming, please, listen to me. You can make a good commander. We've seen it in Water Tanks PC. We've seen all the collaborations you've had with Arnold Schwarzenegger and currently right now with Jason Statham and a bunch of other celebrities and what. You got a Rambo tank coming out. Why is it? you've given us fantasy-looking, commanders. Like, Olivia Vasquez does not look like she's prepared to command the tank. Duncan does not look like he's prepared to command the tank. Looks like a pimp, for God's sake. Excuse my language, but he literally looks like a pimp. Does this guy look like he can command the tank? No. Do these commanders look like they can command the tank? No. Ducky is the most inappropriate commander for any tank ever. This is not a tanker. She looks like freaking, what's her name? Harley Quinn from the Suicide Squad. Like, hello, Wargaming, this is not what we want. If you want to implement commanders, you want to keep them in the game, fine. I have no issues with them. But for the love of God, give us commanders that not only sound like commanders from the national team, or not national, but their nationality matches what they're playing in, what tank they're playing in. But at the same time, have them look like World War II style commanders. Make them look like actual tank commanders. It's not rocket science. That would be my concern, and that would be my take. Commanders have already been nerfed. I'm going to make a whole video on the commanders and their nerfs, and that Wargaming actually listened to us, and they nerfed a lot of them, basically all of them. So I'm all cool with that, but for the love of God, please give us commanders that look like commanders. Don't make them look like some Fortnite Overwatch characters that just, they're so cringy to look at. And I hate the voices. I hate the crew voices. The freaking commanders' voices are so annoying. So, yeah, Wargaming, please change the voices. Give us historical looking tank commanders. Make them look like actual tank commanders, but keep them in the game. I have no issues with them. And the number one priority, the number one concern that we all have, all us content creators and all of us and all the other CCs and whatnot, do not put this behind a paywall. Do not sell commanders. That is period. Done. Nada. Do not sell them. You promised you're not going to sell them. You put on your website that commanders will never be for sale. They're always going to be free. Keep in mind, commanders are meant to replace crew skills. If you remove the whole point of the crew skills and give us commanders, that's fine. But do not put them behind a paywall, because most of us have grinded for years and years and years at this game. We've basically maxed out level 7 on basically all types of tanks and all types of crew skills. And now we're left with commanders that we have to manually level up ourselves, which, might I add, is tedious as hell. Wargaming, do not make sure when the official release is released, you don't make us do this manually and you basically automatically give us fully maxed out commanders like you're transferring it. Do not make us freaking have to manually input it ourselves. It's really frustrating and it's annoying, and it feels like I have to put in effort in order to give me the same results with my tanks when I'm playing these commanders. So please fix that issue. Fix the way they look, fix the way they sound, and do not put them behind a paywall. What else is there? There's heaps to go through. What about ammunition? Okay, ammunition is a big thing here. In case you've been living under a rock and you've got no idea what the hell's going on with ammunition, let me give you a brief rundown. Ammunition now is unlimited. You have unlimited standard ammo and you have unlimited HE. Unlimited standard ammo, unlimited HE. Your only one that's not unlimited is, of course, the premium shells. Okay? Crazy, isn't it? It's a crazy idea to think about. Premium shells are the only thing that you have to pay for. And that's it. So I'm all for that. I am all for having our tanks have unlimited AP and unlimited HE. That's fine. The only drawback with that is you're not going to be able to get a Fadden's medal. But I mean, that's just a try-hard medal at that point. Seriously. I got no issues with that. Okay. What about the issue of upgrading your modules using credits? Is that a good thing? Yes or no? Honestly, I think using credits is probably a better solution than having XP. Hear me out. I think having credits to unlock all the modules on your tanks is better than having XP. Do you want to know why? Because it's easier to grind credits than it is to grind XP. Just think about it. You need XP boosters. You need XP certificates, right? The times 2, times 3, times 5, times 10 certificates, so you can actually lessen the grind, right? And obviously, as a content creator, I have complained that, well, there's people that, don't really care. Or there's people that have gotten up the tech trees really, really quickly. That's an issue. Yeah, it's an issue. Having keys and having sets, so they have to grind up these sets one by one, is going to limit how many people are going to get to the highest tiers. But it also means that because you're given the ability to play whatever tank you want in that set, and then using that tank to basically grind enough XP and enough credits to buy the top tier tank, I feel like that's also going to have basically the same effect as someone who's just, bought gold and free XP'd their way to the top, or like just used a bunch of XP boosters and XP certificates to basically get to tier 10, and they've just started playing. Okay, that's what it's going to feel like. So I'm not entirely opposed to the idea of using your favorite tank to grind a set, but at the same time, come on, it's just going to make it really frustrating. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is basically all I have to say about everything that's wrong with the update. I think I've covered a lot of the things anyway in my other videos, but regardless, Wargaming devs, if you're watching this video, and I know for a fact that you may as well be watching it, because I know you're watching a lot of the feedback videos, this is a feedback video. And I've given you my ideas on how to fix it and what the community wants. Now, I may not share the same opinions as some of the other content creators, but at the same time, I like some of the changes, but I also don't like some of the changes. And I think that can be very much better implemented. And that's it, guys. I want to just give a massive, massive thank you to every single one of you who have subscribed. We've hit over 5,000 subscribers. That's absolutely amazing. Great milestone. As promised, I'm going to make a video where I basically answer all of your questions. So if you have any questions that you want me to answer as well, put them in the comments down below and let me know. All right, guys, take it easy. I'll catch you all later. Look after yourselves, look after your friends and family. Peace in the Middle East, and stay safe on the battlefield. Bye for now, and take care.